is our CBD end of the business. I work on both fronts, but have mainly been spearheading the CBD division of the business. Obviously, with everything going on right now, the importance of edibles within the cannabis industry is becoming very, very important as we are going to be living with the effects of COVID. For the time being, it's of the utmost important that any cannabis user is very cautious during this time. We've done our part to publish newsletters, publish information, warning people of the possible side effects while consuming cannabis and experiencing the effects of the pandemic, which we're going through. At Nature's Key, we feel very socially responsible, and that we're trying to inform our patients as best as possible what's going on during this period of time, as well as be there for them. Jeff had mentioned microdosing, and that is a very, very big emphasis of our business. I'm sure everyone here has, I know for a fact at least one person here has had a bad experience with edibles, but we don't want that to happen to individuals. It doesn't have to happen. So what we encourage is microdosing, and a microdose is considered anything at 2.5 milligrams of THC or below. So a bestseller of ours in our company this past year has been what we call the Best Day Ever gummy. This gummy contains 25 milligrams of CBD and only 1 milligram of THC. So that 1 milligram is defined as a microdose. So by microdosing, we can gradually build up to a phase where a user feels comfortable that they have medicated themselves to the point that they need. I like to say everything cannabis is individualized. This is an individualized based medicine, and there's no doctor out there that can tell you what is right or wrong for you. You are the best judge of your body. You are the best judge of what's going on in your person. So part of that is building up to what you are comfortable with in your person. I like to say edibles are like grilling meat. You can always add a little more heat. You can't take it back off. So we want to go slow and low, and at Nature's Key, that's what we really pride ourselves in educating our patients to be able to do successfully and on a day-to-day basis.
All right, Joe, I appreciate you giving us that background about how to properly microdose. I know that this call today and this excitement of the opportunity here is to really understand that for those that don't. We don't want to see people make mistakes. And just to be honest and upfront, we were going to have another medical doctor, Dr. Kamal Kelsey, on today to speak about medical and cannabis. However, he is off at the Meadowlands and he is playing COVID-19 doctor, trying to help those in true need rather than dealing with us here. So I know that if there's any questions, I don't know if anybody can actually ask Joe any questions about that. But if there are any questions, let us know. And if you can't speak for some reason, if your microphone's not working, type it in the chat and I will be happy to ask Joe. Okay, I don't know if anybody can hear me out there, but hopefully I didn't get any calls. Reggie, do you want to take over on another topic that we have outlined? Can you hear me, Reggie? You're on mute, Reg.
Yes, I'm unmuting. So yes, sorry about that. So look, Joe, kind of give us some insight of what you think in terms of where we're at in the industry now. I see a lot of companies are having a lot of success, especially those that are in the retail space. As a manufacturer, and some of the people just got on, please reiterate information about your company and where you're located and what you guys do. And just kind of give us some feedback from a manufacturer's perspective, how COVID is affecting the industry.
Absolutely. So again, Nature's Key is located out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We've been manufacturing and specializing in edibles for the past year and a half. To date, we've managed to penetrate about 800 dispensaries in the marketplace. I was actually down in Oklahoma roughly a month ago before things really hit the fan, and in that process, we were fast into setting up our skeleton crew, and during that process, definitely felt an acceleration of sales, which was definitely echoed industry wide. You look at West Coast, East Coast, all over the place. People were preparing to be inside and potentially alone for a while. So with that spike in sales, obviously today is a cannabis friendly holiday. Happy 420, everyone. And so this is typically a big sales time. We are not anticipating it. We feel like we got that rush early on this year, because of COVID, obviously. How it's going to affect the industry from here, nobody knows. If I had a magic ball and I had to guess, I would anticipate sales within the month slowing down, and we're preparing for about a 30% blow. People, I think as time passes on, as the unemployment numbers continue to rise, people are going to have to choose between putting food on the table or medicating. I think the choice is obvious, but there's going to be some cutbacks, and so we're preparing for it. On the contrary, I think some really great things that happen to be coming in the midst of this pandemic is one. A lot of state-run governments have opened up the delivery pipeline. They've put about 120-day grace periods to allow curbside delivery, to allow online ordering as well as pickup. So it's still a little hairy though, because a lot of those processes are fundamentally flawed. As Jeff will tell you, in our consulting work, we help people get bank accounts. We help people do payment processing, e-check solutions, but credit card is still one of those things that you can't do online. So within that process, there's still a bit of a gap. The opportunity that I see personally in the marketplace is for businesses like ours to show the government and to show our state leaders that we can operate above board, full transparency, and actually serve the needs of our patients like any other medical business, like the CVS that would deliver. We should have the opportunity to do that, and with the proper guidelines, we can. And the good news is we have the opportunity to do so now, and if we do it well, there's a really good chance that industry-wide it will become the standard and it will stay. And that's the glass half full in this scenario that I'm really hoping for in the midst of all this horribleness.
Joe, I mean, one of the things that I just want to make sure we clarify, and because you brought up the idea of doing the payment processing here for the industry, today's industry standard allows us to have credit cards online for CBD. It Correct. Is very difficult to maintain. It is very difficult to obtain. There are few and far between companies that will want to take the risk of a high-risk business like that and have the opportunity for you to do that. So what we do for CBD companies that may or may not have the ability to get on that preferred list from a company like Square is to offer them another subject called e-check. And that's another way to tackle the THC side of the business and give people the leverage that they need with an e-check solution that is A, not sexy, but B, it really is stable and works. And we've never had an issue since 2013 with e-checks on the THC side of the business. So having said that, it's a long run, it is extremely stable, and we're very prepared to be able to help each and every one of you to have a success in your business, whether that's going to be online or a brick and mortar location. And when we're looking at a brick and mortar location after the pandemic and everything seems to open back up, keep in mind there are other options out there for brick and mortar to be able to take ATM cards at the counter. And if someone's interested in that, they can reach back out to me or Joe, and we can discuss that with you. For those of you who are listening and thinking, well, how does that work? Just a quick synopsis is you pay with your ATM card, you make a withdrawal out of your bank account, and the money goes to the dispensary bank account. No cash is exchanged hands. So we can go over that in the future if someone has any questions. But along this whole idea of banking, your biggest problem is obtaining a bank account. And having the ability with 101 relationships across the nation, we will be able to help you obtain what you need to be successful.
On that note, let's talk a little bit about financing, about startups. What do you see is happening in that space in terms of the cannabis industry? What changes do you think that are going to come about as a result of us being in this situation? From you, Joe, in terms of we're proving industry-wide that this is a essential life business. So you're able to do a lot of things that we're not capable of doing 6 months ago. Governors are understanding the importance of this as a medical product, as a need for people's lives. And then from you, Jeff, just kind of talk about the finance model in terms of somebody raising capital and somebody, that's looking to take their company to the next level as we go forward. So, Joe, you start, and then Jeff, go on.
So, a really wonderful opportunity that we had as of recent was to meet with one of Oklahoma's governors. He happened to have a niece who had severe seizure problems, couldn't get it under control, had been through the ringer, had been near death multiple times with pharmaceuticals. And so he was throwing a Hail Mary. We ended up developing a gummy. We were able to get her seizures to subside, and we converted a believer. Why am I saying this? Right now in the Oklahoma marketplace, specifically, we have an issue. It's a 1-2. One is tax season has come upon us, and a lot of these mom and pop shops. Oklahoma, for everyone who doesn't know, is a very open market. There are no caps on the licenses, so anyone who can pay can play. What has happened is, as tax season has come up, a lot of these individuals have not saved up for that, and or there have been unforeseen costs due to legislation changing. You actually need to have that slop sink in there. That's an extra 10 grand that you don't have in your back pocket. Well, my business is shutting their doors. That's a problem. Also with COVID, that's the number 2 gut punch that we have right now. So as far as opportunity is concerned, specifically in my marketplace, Oklahoma, the ones that survive are going to survive. Now is a time when, quite honestly, I think a lot of people are going to be underwater. The cannabis industry, as we all know, very hard to raise money. Guess what? It's only going to get harder. And in the process, I do foresee a lot of companies wanting to get into this, or that had dreams of getting into this, simply not having the means to do so. Personally, that's my belief. For our company, we see that as an opportunity. We're actively looking for companies that make great products, but may just have had some bad luck. Now's the time to kind of seize that opportunity, help them out, and help our business out in the process. And I think industry-wide, that's something that we're all going to have to be doing right now, is keeping eyes out for opportunities, because there undoubtedly will be.
Okay, so let's take a look at the financial capital and the situation that's going to be handed down to the industry in its totality. We look at your personal lives every day and realize that right now we don't have businesses open. You're going to see a lot of businesses go under, such as food restaurants, stores that are not able to open, hair salons, people that are not able to pay their rent. The cannabis space is going to fall under the same category. And what we have to understand is a company like Cannabis Pitch Live is going to have a tremendous value. People are going to be able to show what they're doing, turn around, use our company to come out, raise money for themselves in their business so that they can reopen. Okay. And as soon as we can, we're going to be having another event with Cannabis Pitch Live as soon as the pandemic is over. But moreover, let's understand a couple more things here. It's going to be about the opportunities in the opportunity zone, where if you think the tax rebates to do business in an opportunity zone right now is pretty decent, it's going to get even better. Okay. As the financial market of this country changes and we change with the times, what we're going to find out is the opportunity zones are going to be less and less desired because there will be more desirable locations available. So if we focus on how to make opportunity zones grow, we can then turn around and maybe move somebody's business in where they may not have to pay taxes for 10, 15 years. And that's almost not unreasonable at this stage to think that, because the last I checked, some opportunity zones were 5 years tax-free to 7 years tax-free as it is. So having said that, there are opportunities out there that are going to be good for people with a little bit of capital or a little bit of risk ability. And if you're not risk averse, now's the time to jump in, maybe growing, maybe getting your licenses in full verticals in markets that would be considered something to be maybe, that you wouldn't have done 10 months ago. And it's an opportunity right now to not overlook where we're going to have the biggest benefits to us as a group, and to raise money and to help people invest in those areas. Plus, it's going to do really good for the community, because if you're going into a community and building it up and strengthening its walls around it, it's only going to bring everything to flourish rather than to watch people fail. And the worst thing that we like to see is people failing. So hopefully we could do our best to turn around the community, grow it, build it, get it stronger, and then find out that you have a way to really succeed in something to pat yourself on the back about, because you've taken that moment, you've seized the opportunity to grow a community in need. And, I think that's really going to be where the focus is. Now, how do we raise capital in an environment like today? Look, it's going to be a process. You're going to have to identify those that still have the liquid capital and the willingness to, put money into your business. And again, that's where Cannabis Pitch Live is going to be so important, because we're going to be bringing those people out, and we're going to have those people in the room for you to discuss and meet and to have opportunities to grow each and every one of your businesses.
Okay, so what are the unique challenges that a startup is going to have right now? We know the funding is tight, right? Talking financing, I have several people that I have conversations with last week related to the same topic. So what can a company do to position themselves to raise money after we start releasing people back into the regular process of what we do as Americans and as people?
Well, first of all, we have to understand that disposable income is what we're collecting. Okay, so you're going to have to understand what kind of companies are going to be successful. It's going to be a little bit of everybody. Everybody needs to not be scared about this opportunity when we get back into the normal flow of business. Okay, because when people go back to work, they're going to have the disposable income that they used to have. If you look at it right now and say, oh my God, everybody doesn't have the disposable income, where are they going to get it to spend money in my business? Why would you invest in a business like that? First things first, let's take a look at the medical side. Joe, you could speak to this better than I can, but how many people have a medical need that are going to even, put their money out right now where they may not have it because it's a medicine, it's a product that is helping them get through a daily life. Okay, yeah, the rec side of things is the rec side of things, but maybe you can comment on the medical side of it, because I don't see that to be a real issue, because people need that. That's not.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and the way that I look at it is, you know, people with true medical needs, and again, I can only speak to the Oklahoma marketplace, but about 60% of patients are recreational users. That's a pretty good stat that we have. But those 40%, much like insulin for a diabetic, they depend on that on a day-to-day basis to manage their pain, their symptoms, whatever it may be, to function in daily life. So with Oklahoma specifically, you're going to have 40% of the marketplace that is going to continue to give you steady business. It's the rest that you worry about. As far as the startup right now, like Jeff said, it's going to be hard. You know, in the midst of a marketplace, you know, where so many things are slowing down, it's hard to create that sort of new energy in a time like we're in now. And so it's going to be difficult, but I think, you know, we have a saying, we're in the business of the big C, the cannabis business. We tend to band together to help one another out, and now is one of those times, you know, where I can see even more partnerships being created and spawn, because again, everyone's going to get swallowed up otherwise. And I'm even talking about the 600-pound gorilla in the room. Everyone's going to take a hit. So I think the question is, how do we manage? How do we survive? And that's a really good question. But I think allies, as well as banding together as one, it's the best that we can do right now.
I mean, you know what? When I said this before, I'll say it again. And I think opportunity zones are going to be the biggest way to survive, because just think about this. If your business was or was open in a retail setting, and that retail setting was in a high-end community that your rents are high, and you lose that facility because you just can't keep it up anymore, and you're looking to relaunch and re-identify your brand, and you've taken such a hit during this time period, maybe going to an opportunity zone where it will be tax-free for 10, 15 years, or whatever that opportunity zone might allow, would grant you the ability to then take a loan out, or find a partnership, or find some seed money from an investor through a group like Cannabis Pitch Live, and have that ability to relaunch. You might be 7 miles away from where you were if you're a storefront. Okay. And I do think what's going to end up happening is you're going to see a doubling in your online built businesses. Okay. I think people will find that it will be easier for them to relaunch online, to get their footing again. And once they have that footing, now what you're going to do is reopen a business of your choosing somewhere else, maybe 6, 8, 10, 12 months later. So I should see a business boom in the online phase, and a reduction of staff where people are going to run a lot leaner and a lot meaner for a short period of time. And then they're going to want to have that bang when they want to have that presence, the community feel, the getting back out there, having the buildings and having brick and mortar come back. So it's going to be a process, but it's going to be a process that we're all going to go through, whether it is the marijuana industry or whether it is every industry. Because right now, think about all the big box stores, Best Buy that's not open, whether it's you know, all the buildings that are closed, all the hair salons that are closed, everybody. So it's going to be a compilation of everything. Everybody has already moved as much online as they can. And even Walmart is now offering grocery store deliveries, which they never did before. They started that a few weeks ago, and pickups. So it's going to be the United States. It's going to be the world. We just have to ride the storm to know it's coming back. I mean, to me, it's like a stock market. It's going to come back. Everybody knows it's going to come back.
It has not stopped, guys. Let me be clear. There are people making millions and billions of dollars during this time frame. So don't be so pessimistic and buy into the boo-boo. The money is flowing on the business side for many, many, many businesses. You have to position yourself. I'm busier than ever. I have more stuff to do that I can't get done on a daily basis. And the people that I talk to across sectors and industries of businesses are just as busy that are focused on what they need to do. Yes, online is different. Yes, the brick and mortar is changing the dynamics of the process, but money continues to flow. You have to get in front of the lane of where it's going. There are tremendous number of opportunities, online, offline. The dynamics, of course, has changed, but the situation for a business, a smart entrepreneur, is to reposition yourself. I don't care if you're in the opportunity zone or non-opportunity zone. For example, in Joe's business, where 40% of those people are still going to always be able to buy, then that's where I'm sitting my marketing dollars at, to make sure that they understand that we are the company that they can provide their services and provide their medical needs. In terms of this sector, the medical marijuana industry is about to blow up. So anything that's connected to investing or delivering services related to medical, like Curol and other companies that were at the event, there are some companies that are positioned to exponentially grow. So again, it's about making sure that you have your ducks aligned in a row so that you are ready when those investors that are able to make decisions and want to make decisions again and are going to be released, it's going to be a floodgate. And just like the money that they put up for the stimulus package, right? For the PPP loan, whatever they call that. That money was swooped up because all those companies that were in line prepared. Yes, it's always not disseminated in a equitable fashion, but it is what it is. We are all on here because we are business people. I am a capitalist. I'm not here to be philanthropic. Yes, my heart goes out to people that are suffering. Now, that is a given, right? But we are here to figure out our path to success, and success is measured with dollars. On that note, Zenobia, you just joined us. Tell us about your perspective in terms of what's happening in the financial end of it, and what do you see coming down the road?
Well, thank you, Reggie. Hello, everyone. Surprise, surprise, this whole early West Coast, East Coast thing has got me, well, I'm here. Thanks for asking. I've just been studying. I'm constantly studying. And I totally concur with you, Reggie. In fact, I've been keeping an eye out on what companies are still funding and what they're looking at and where the opportunities are. So I'm clearly looking at how some of our cannabis clients can get some leverage, and those who are involved in health tech, and also the health tech component for cannabis. There's a lot of opportunities there because people are looking for innovation. And so anyone who has something that's fairly innovative, well thought out, well designed, they have their numbers, their spreadsheets, projections together. They have a good team. All of those same factors really come into play that will cause certain companies to stand out because the money, folks are sitting on money. Some of it hasn't completely disappeared, but it's just getting moved around. And so again, it's how you can find that niche, fit into that niche to make yourself attractive.
Thank you so much, Zenobia. Jill, did you have something to share with us before we get here? And welcome, Tarek.
Reggie, I don't know if either of them have their microphones on. Jill, there you go.
Hi, this is Jill. I'm more listening and learning. I don't have anything to contribute at this moment. Sorry.
Well, let me
welcome
for Jill. Jill, why don't you give us a little bit about what's going on with cannabis in New Jersey and CannaGather New Jersey, and maybe you could just enlighten us because this is being recorded. We'll be able to have this looked at over and over again for people that didn't make it today. We had a lot of signups that did not make it on because of the early 10 a.m. start, I think.
Well, I mean, I think that, the cannabis industry is, flourishing during this COVID time because it's kind of like liquor. I mean, now everyone needs it for their anxiety and insomnia. All the dispensaries are going to delivery services. I also think that it's making its way towards legalization because I think, with, us needing to make back the money that the government's spending, they see this as an opportunity to help, build back up that pot of money with taxing cannabis. So I'm hoping that it's going to, look really good for the ballot this November. And, and with, CannaGather, we have our live events every month. Usually we turned it to virtual events every week. We have about 150 people that sign on that are very interested in what's going on. I think we're kind of moving away from wanting to talk about COVID and cannabis. I think people are just kind of tired about hearing about that. They want to, be positive and just talk about, for instance, edibles, that's more important to be focusing on than vaping and smoking it. So there's a huge rise in wanting to know how you can infuse cannabis with food and make your own and grow your own at your house, since we're all stuck at our houses. So there's still a lot of opportunities. Like Reggie said, I mean, there's businesses making money.
Thank you, Joe. I actually thank everybody. I upgraded my Zoom, but it thinks it's going to cut me off a little short today. So again, we are back on live April 30th. We'll figure out the time frame. Thank you so much, Joseph, for your insight. Be safe. Are you in Kansas or are you in Oklahoma?
I'm in Kansas right now. I'll be in Oklahoma. I actually just closed on a house yesterday.
Awesome. Woo. Congratulations. That's
I'm a real Okie now.
Jeffrey, New Jersey, New York, you be safe and sane. Jill, Tarek, and Zenobia, thank you so much for joining us. We're Cannabis Pitch Live. We look forward to seeing you all on the 30th of April. Peace, love, and happiness. We're out. Have a good day and figure out a way to make some money. Managing your business, pretty much understanding.
All right.
Have a great day, guys. Talk to you soon.
Be safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.